We haven't yet covered this. I don't know if we'll end up doing it today or not, but one of the things that I think we should all do, and I articulated this in my latest appearance on Piers Morgan's show, is be principled, not partisan. Now, arguing that one party is better than the other, as I do, is different than being blindly partisan, right? Which is what I'm talking about.
And he didn't quite commit.
And now I'm just playing a clip out loud for no reason. Apologies. We'll get to that in just a second. But if you are principled and honest, then you don't have to come off so dang ridiculous whenever you try to blindly defend something that makes you seem kind of silly. And that brings us to this clip, just because I brought it up to fully contextualize my Piers anecdote. We were just talking about how, I guess he sort of thought he was going to get me, and I gotcha on Biden pardoning Hunter, and I just went, I just don't think he should have done that. I did a segment and I criticized it. I understand the broader context of Trump threatening Hunter Biden and the Biden family, and so that playing into it, but Biden said he wasn't, and the fact that he did, after saying he wasn't, is bad. I can think Biden's had a generally pretty good presidency and also criticize him because of principle, right? All of you are cringing a little bit because you're going, why are you patting yourself on the back for basic consistency? But I'm telling you, a lot of people just struggle with that, and it puts them in an unfortunate position. The latest example of that is Clay Travis on Fox News trying to explain how Lucy Caldwell, who's a liberal pundit, is incorrect for saying we should be concerned about the sexual assault allegations against Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth. And it just, whenever people are this desperate to defend Trump no matter what, when obviously Hegseth, even if you're super right wing, is probably not the guy that we want as a defense secretary, you end up looking silly. While you watch this clip, please do click the subscribe button. Then we have more to get into, like Lindsey Graham also looking very silly.
Whether or not he should be confirmed for this role to be Secretary of Defense. I think that we've learned from the first Trump administration that it does not really matter how much you pander to or get in line or, get behind Trump and Trump's agenda. When he wants to come for you, he will. We've seen that a lot with a lot of Republican senators who were doing their darndest to be loyal to him. Pete Hegseth is a person, there are serious questions about him. And even in the recovery tour, so to speak, the we're fixing the PR of Pete Hegseth, some of the stuff that has come out is pretty shocking. I mean, a senator gave a pull-aside interview to a bunch of media where he talked about how he and Pete Hegseth have discussed how, if confirmed, Pete Hegseth would stop drinking. Like, these are not the kinds of pieces of commentary that you want senators to be doing in the halls of Congress. So maybe he gets confirmed. I'm not sure that Pete Hegseth being confirmed is going to be a DOD with someone at the helm with a lot of credibility. He is still really taking a beating, and I think for good reason.
What's also interesting, Clay, is that Hegseth has clearly moderated his stance on women in combat. He was against it, and he didn't quite commit to having them on the front lines. But that also reminds me that ultimately it's the president-elect who's going to decide things like that.
Yeah, no doubt. And let me hammer a couple of things here. One, I'm going to take a shot at CBS Sports. You played the clip of them at Army-Navy. Howard, do you know what percentage of the time they showed Donald Trump on the air during that game? 4 seconds. Well, they showed him on the air for 4 seconds.
MSNBC
it should have been Taylor Swift. They would have had him on for 2 minutes.
MSNBC played a lot of it, I must tell you, of the Trump and Vance and Hegseth. Go ahead. You're a sports guy. I yield to you.
That's point one. Point two, look, they've come after Pete Hegseth with everything they got. They started with, he's a womanizer. You can't trust him. His wife's fabulous. They have a fantastic family. He's doing really well.
Not a womanizer.
Then they moved on to
accused of a sex crime. Not a womanizer. Accused of a sex crime.
Which he says was consensual.
But there's a police report about.
Let's
not use the term really womanizer. Important. Defend it. Don't defend it. But don't say womanizer. That's not what's at issue here. An alleged sex crime isn't what's at issue.
What you are doing, hold on, Lucy. What you are doing is everything that's wrong with the way these are covered. You said accused of a sex crime. Yes. He was actually cleared of a sex crime. They investigated. The woman lied. There was no basis for it.
Wait, he wasn't prosecuted.
He was accused. He was cleared.
He
was cleared of a sex crime.
Wrong.
That is 100% true. They investigated him.
All right, let me play the rest of this in just a second where the host has to jump in and go, I don't know. I'm a Fox News host, but I don't know about that, Clay. You know what's crazy? I found this clip because Clay Travis posted it and went, hey, actually, let me just read. TV fireworks this morning over Pete Hegseth's nomination when Lucy Caldwell went after him for being accused of wrongdoing. What a weird usage of an exclamation mark. Nope, not on my watch. She was cleared and he's gonna be defense secretary. Get your popcorn. So he was very proud of that. Not understanding that's not what happened. There was an investigation, a police report. Whenever police determine that someone has lied, they clear someone by demonstrating that. Whenever police hand over evidence of a crime to prosecutors, and prosecutors who like to keep their conviction rate high go, this is not enough evidence that I feel confident enough I could get a guilty verdict because the evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. But charges not being brought in the case of a prosecutor not feeling confident enough about beyond a reasonable doubt standard is very different than police investigating and clearing somebody. So those two things should be very much distinguished. And I'll talk more about that after the rest of this.
In Florida, in California, they found that there was absolutely no crime that had occurred at all. That is the truth. So you can't say
that's not what happened.
I got to blow the whistle on time here.
100%
I got to blow the whistle.
Second.
No, we have no time for second.
To go and accuse him of alcohol-related issues. That failed. He's going to be defense secretary, whether Lucy likes it, whether anybody else out there likes it. Congratulations, Pete Hegseth. I think you're going to do a killer job.
Well, it is a worldwide organization with 3 million employees, so we'll see how this plays out.
And we will indeed. So then to continue on that, so often when an allegation is made against somebody, these sorts of folks, which by the way, it happened again on Piers today. It's been happening a bunch. A lot of times MAGA folks will get mad at me for calling them MAGA folks or these folks or this cohort. How am I supposed to identify your political views? Why does that upset you? You can call me, a lot of people call me a leftist, and some people say you could never call me a leftist because I'm not far left enough. Some people call me, well, I won't say that, naughty words, and none of them really matter as long as I get the categorization you're trying to make in terms of my political views. Just for the sake of efficiency of our conversation. All right, you're sort of MAGA. Great. Let me just say a lot of MAGA people say this. So do you stand by that? But a lot of MAGA people will say, and I say that with love, MAGA folks, I love, will say when an allegation like this is brought out, well, why didn't they go get a rape kit? Or why was there no police report? And we'll go, well, a lot of times in the heat of the moment, they don't end up doing that. And then years later, they're finally able to speak out about it. And so, of course, always make sure that we're making sure people are innocent until proven guilty, stating something just to be an allegation, and understanding the harm of false allegations, all that. Yes. But y'all kept telling me that your issue with the past ones was that there was no rape kit or police report. There are on this one. The people that she told right at the time. Witness testimony about some of the corroborating details from other people around the hotel. And then a payoff. So yes, the police investigated. Prosecutors decided not to bring charges. Similar to like the Matt Gaetz thing. But at some point, you have to admit it's kind of unlikely that someone would go to the hospital, get a rape kit in 2017, be a part of a police investigation where presumably she thought charges were going to be brought where she'd have to defend this in court, all so that in 2024, she could be an anonymous source and maybe Hegseth will release her from her NDA and she won't be anonymous anymore, but so that she could take down the defense secretary who at this point in time, or at that point in time, was just a Fox host, I think. Come on. It's not that we know 100% certainly that the details are true, but acting like, oh my gosh, y'all are just bringing up anything, you're just throwing the kitchen sink at them, is very much silly. And by silly, I mean infuriating. Here is Lindsey Graham now, and he tells us that report we heard, oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say before the Lindsey Graham clip. They act like it's this media conspiracy about people who don't like him, bringing up all these random things, making up stories. But when he brings up the drunk stuff, this is testimony from Fox employees around him. They're not exactly liberals, okay? And then you have Lindsey Graham here boldly proclaiming to the world, I asked Pete Hegseth if he screamed kill all Muslims, and he said that he didn't. And I believe him. Well, thank you, Lindsey, for your investigation.
The world stage. You said last week that some of the allegations against Pete Hegseth, President-elect Trump's pick to become the next defense secretary, were, quote, very disturbing. Senator, let me ask you, at this point in time, are you prepared to vote yes on Pete Hegseth, and do you think he has enough support to get confirmed?
Yeah, I'm in a good place with Pete unless something I don't know about comes out. These allegations are disturbing.
Listen, everything's, sorry, this isn't even the part I was talking about, but I got distracted. Everything's looking on the up and up unless I hear any, concerning allegations like sexual assault, being super drunk at work all the time, screaming, kill all Muslims, trying to get onto a stage when you're so drunk to dance with strippers that you have to be physically restrained and taken out of a strip club. I don't know. If I heard anything like that, well, then maybe we would be on worse terms. But so far, so good.
But they're anonymous. I asked him point blank, were you drunk in a bar, and got up and said, let's kill all the Muslims? He said no. There's one allegation in a police report about sexual assault. That person has the right to come forward to the committee. But about mismanagement of money, about having a drinking problem and saying inappropriate things. All of these are anonymous allegations. He's given me his side of the story. It makes sense to me. I believe him. Unless somebody's willing to come forward, I think he's going to get through. Remember Kavanaugh? 5 people accused.
Yeah, I remember Kavanaugh. I remember. Wow. Imagine that. He gave me his side of the story, and unless anything changes, it was compelling. Oh, it was, Lindsey? Well, please do tell. What did that conversation go like? Well, I said, did you say kill all Muslims? And he said, no. And I said, well, that's a compelling side of your story. And I'm happy that I know it now. Yes, I'm smiling. No, my heart's not smiling. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did any of these arguments move you? Are you now a Hegseth fan? You can tell me. Support the show. Get the members only bonus show by clicking that join button below.